The Moondrop Chu II has been my go-to budget recommendation for IEMs for a long time. The Kiwi Ears Belle just changed that. Hey folks, I'm Norb, and Kiwi Ears sent me this for my honest opinion. The packaging is basic. You get the IEMs, 6 pairs of silicone ear tips, and a detachable 2-pin cable. There's also a USB-C version for $4 more. It includes a built-in DAC and mic, so you can skip the dongle life entirely. The white tips have a wider bore and give you a more neutral balanced sound with more treble presence. The black tips have a narrower bore and pull back the treble a bit, giving you a warmer and smoother sound with a touch more bass. I settled on the black tips early and did most of my testing with those. And everything I'm about to tell you about the sound is with the black tips on. Keep that in mind. The shells are small, see-through resin with a metal faceplate, and you can actually see the driver through the back, which I think is a nice touch. For a comparison, here is a Chu II, which is a tiny IEM, and here is the Kiwi Ears Belle. Because of that size, comfort is a real story here. These disappear into your ears. I wore them for 4 hours straight without a hint of pressure. The trade-off, isolation is average. Fine for the office or home, but don't expect these to block out much noise in your commute. Moving on to sound, this thing sounds smooth. It's relaxed, it's got a clean signature that doesn't try too hard to impress you with a bunch of fake detail. The star of the show is a 10mm DLC driver. DLC stands for diamond-like carbon. It's a coating that makes the driver diaphragm incredibly rigid while staying light. In a $30 IEM, that matters because it cuts down on diaphragm breakup. The driver doesn't wobble or distort when it's pushed hard. It moves cleanly. Now let's talk about the bass. You get a very good kick and a respectable sub-bass rumble. Because the DLC driver is responsive, the bass feels snappy rather than soupy. On Gang Chen's The Butterfly Lover's Concerto, the Chloe Chua pentatone recording, by the way, which is one of my tests for sensitivity and slam, you can hear the dynamics roll off just a hair in the deepest double bass notes, but the texture is there. It's punch with intent, not just a wall of mud. As for the mids, these follow the Harman 2019 target pretty closely, which is something Kiwi Ears tends to do. No shoutiness, plenty of body. Deep male vocals like the Wellerman sound rich and full. You don't get the separation from a full multi-driver setup, but the single driver coherence means everything sounds natural and together, and that is one of the real advantages of this kind of driver at this price. The treble is generally smooth and non-fatiguing with the black tips. There is a peak at about 8 kHz, and even with the narrower bore taming it, on some recordings, for example female vocals like Love or Lady Gaga, it creates a bit of an edge that might make you turn the volume down. Now, I am sensitive to that region, so that might just be a me thing, but 8 kHz, it's usually where I want to bring it down. With the white tips, that peak was too much for me, and I switched off of them pretty quickly. So if you've picked these up and the treble feels just a bit sharp out of the box, make sure you switch to the black tips. That all said, that same peak, that brightness, it helps out with the timbre and realism. It's why pianos and violins sound so good on these. It gives acoustic instruments a presence that most budget IEMs don't generally have. So there is a trade-off, and with the right tips, I think it lands on the right side for most people. Now, I kept trying to listen to music, trying to find a genre or something where these fell apart, and I just could not. Folk, opera, classical, pop, reggaeton, western, all of it sounded good and fun, lively and energetic. That is a credit to really good tuning. Electronic music was a surprise for me. The bass extension and the smoothness work together in a way that makes electronic tracks feel alive without being fatiguing. And that 8 kHz peak actually adds some energy to synths and hi-hats that keeps things exciting. But it is a fine edge, and your personal taste will determine whether you like this or not. And if you're a gamer, these are great for that. They're smooth, the bass is good, and if you're using them for standard games, or in my case retro gaming, they sound great. They're kind of perfect for that actually. I really love them. So here's my takeaway. If you want a well-tuned IEM that's competent at pretty much every kind of music at $30, I don't know that you'll do better. I tend to buy audio gear for friends and family during Christmas, and this is hands down one that I will add as a stocking stuffer. It's inexpensive, it sounds great, it's comfortable, and for me, it lives right in the case along with my Trim UI brick hammer and my Nintendo Switch. Now, my longtime favorite has been the Moondrop Chu II, but the Belle, I think, tops it. It's more comfortable and the cable is better. The presentation is also a bit better, even if I do have a slight preference toward the Chu II's tuning. If you prefer something with much more bass than either of these at this price, the Kiwi Ear Rosefinch comes to mind. Alright, so if this review helped you make a decision, hit like, subscribe, and check out the links in the description. They really help the channel out at no cost to you. And if you just want to hang out for a bit, there's something you might be interested in right here. Just click on that. Thanks for watching.